Hello and welcome to part 24 of my Winds of Change video guide, this time the rescue attempt. The point of this quest is to make your way through Tanakai Temple to reach Miku's brother, I believe. The gameplay itself is fairly easy. Every room has a group of ministry forces in it and a hidden switch. The best way to go about this is to run in, kill the ministry forces, activate the switch, and then move on to the next room. This will close the gate behind you, and the enemies that spawn and follow you will be delayed by it. Unless you're very slow, there should be no issue at all escaping from these pursuing forces. Every single time I've done this quest, there has been no issue at all with them catching up. So at least if you activate all the switches, it should be perfectly simple. Just go from room to room, killing all the things. Again, the same priority of enemies as you've had previously. The Mesmers can be a bother. The Clerics are fairly powerful healers. Keep in mind that not always the healers in the enemy party are the Clerics. I believe there's also some smiting builds that the monks can have. And it's definitely the case that sometimes the necromancers or the ritualists could be healers as well. So, something to be aware of. I find the monks to be the most effective enemy healers, but they're definitely not the only ones. It can be worthwhile to wait for the enemies to ball up nicely and then attack them. Because once they're balled up, of course, you do more with your AoE skills. Anything that has an area of effect obviously benefits from enemies being balled up nicely. And there you see, by the way, the Ministry Medium, being a ritualist, also has at least some healing skills. Aside from that, it really is just a matter of killing the groups and then moving along. It's not a very long quest, and it's not very difficult. If you can manage if you could manage the previous ministry forces, then this will not be any more difficult. The groups are not terribly big, and you obviously have a full party at your disposal. So it's really just a matter of going through this. I think this is sped up 2, maybe 3 times, so it might take 10-15 minutes in total, which is fine. It's not very tedious. The advantage I find of the ministry forces over the street gangs is that there is more build variety to them. So, at least subjectively, the enemy party compositions are more versatile. So in some of the street gang quests, you knew that the warriors had Splinter Weapon or the Ellies had Sandstorm and similar things. So you knew what to expect. In these encounters here, the different enemy classes have multiple builds that they can be spawned with. So you don't always know that the cleric will use Healing Burst, or that the warrior will use a sword build, or anything along those lines. You don't have absolute certainty of the enemy's builds. You can usually tell if you have some experience which build they have, because there's only a few varieties to choose from, but at least it's not fixed, and that can also make a huge difference in how easy or difficult a fight is, especially with the next quest actually coming up, but also here to a lesser extent. If the enemy party has some of the more weak builds, or builds that don't synergize well, then you can have a very easy time, whereas if they happen to have builds that are well coordinated, or just generally more powerful, and then it can be quite a pain fighting these groups. Now again, here, because you have an 8-man party, it's generally not an issue. But it's still noticeable that sometimes the groups fall very quickly if you get lucky, and sometimes it takes a long time. Or you struggle more, you take more damage. As you could see in this video as well, sometimes the fights went a lot faster than other times. And that's largely because the enemy party composition is not fixed. They will always choose some melee characters, and always some midliners, and always some healers. So I don't know the exact algorithm, but it will always choose at least one monk, and then choose a random build for that. And it will always choose at least one warrior or assassin or dervish, and then choose a build for that. But there's a lot of variety to be had here. And once you've reached the center where Ashu is waiting, there's a bit of dialogue, and really that's all there is to this quest. So I wish you the best of luck when you do this yourself, and I guess that's it from me. Bye bye.